What is the real purpose of the Eiffel Tower? In romantic Paris, France, there is a romantic structure, entirely made of steel, the Eiffel Tower. For a long time, the tower has been a symbol of Paris, stamped with a romantic aura. The Eiffel Tower was built at the end of the 19th century. Was it really erected by the government to fill Paris with a romantic atmosphere? To say so might disappoint many. The Parisian government is not a whimsical young girl. They had only one purpose in building it, and that was to make money. So, it turns out, the Eiffel Tower is actually a building steeped in the smell of copper. Initially, it wasn't even considered a permanent structure. The decision was to dismantle it after attracting enough tourists to buy tickets to visit. But how did the tower come about? In the year 1885 AD, the French government decided to build a large, uniquely attractive structure to celebrate the centenary of the French Revolution victory, to be held 4 years later at an exposition. The following year, the government organized a design competition specifically for this purpose. The ideas gathered were diverse and some were quite laughable. For instance, someone proposed building a giant guillotine, while another suggested constructing a massive electric light so that Parisians wouldn't need to use lamps to read at night. These proposals furrowed the brows of government officials. Amidst the fervor of the competition, an engineer named Gustave Eiffel had an idea. Why not build a tower of iron, which would be both lightweight and sturdy? He shared his idea with a French minister and personally drew 5,329 sketches of the tower, illustrating the various uses of the 18,038 pieces of metal needed to construct it. The minister was impressed by Eiffel's design and ensured his victory through various means. A year later, Eiffel signed a contract with the government to begin construction of this unprecedented iron tower. Though an engineer, Eiffel was also a savvy businessman. He foresaw that the tower would attract large numbers of tourists over time. Thus, he persuaded the government to keep the tower after the exposition. Eventually, they reached an agreement. Eiffel would pay $1.3 million out of the total budget of $1.6 million for the tower's construction, in exchange for all the income generated by the tower during the exposition and for the following 20 years. Are you disappointed by this revelation? Would you still call the Eiffel Tower romantic? On January 26, 1887, construction of the Eiffel Tower began. With only 2 years left until the exposition, and considering that it took 36 years to complete the Washington Monument, which was only half the height of the tower, the pressure on Eiffel was immense. Simultaneously, there was a wave of opposition from the Parisian public, protesting that the tower would mar the city's skyline and overshadow its other landmarks. One professor even asserted that the tower, once it reached 748 feet, would collapse. Despite all this pressure, Eiffel persevered, accelerating the pace of construction to make the tower taller and taller. Because such a tall structure had never been built before, Eiffel had to be extremely careful, ensuring there were no errors in its construction to prevent potential disasters. To this end, he installed a hydraulic pump at the base of the tower to adjust the height of the tower's piers during construction, minimizing any discrepancies. In the end, the construction of the tower exceeded Eiffel's expectations. Not only did it cost less than anticipated, but it was also completed faster than planned, a month before the exposition. Thus, within 6 months, Eiffel earned $1.4 million from the tower, recouping his investment completely. Later in life, this 59-year-old engineer became a millionaire thanks to the Eiffel Tower.